Assalamualaikum. My name is SYAHIDATUN NISYA. We are from Group E. In this video, we will do a book review about The Great Gatsby. Before I start, let me introduce first our group members. Novel that we chose is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, that originally published on April 1925. This novel is the third book that consists 208 pages, stand as the great achievement for his career as a book writer. The Great Gatsby is simply about the tragic story about J. Gatsby, who is a millionaire that have obsession to reunite with his former lover, Daisy Buchanan. F. Scott Fitzgerald is a famous American novelist that was born on 1896. He published 4 novels during his career. The Great Gatsby is his most popular novel.
Great Gatsby have 4 main characters. J. Gatsby is the main character played in the novel as a protagonist. He falls in love with Daisy while he was on duty as a soldier. He wants to be rich in pursuit of Daisy's love. Nick Carraway is a novel narrator who plays a graduate who comes to Long Island for a job as a salesman. He also Daisy's cousin, Tom friend, Gatsby knew never, and friend. Next, Daisy was a girl of rich and beautiful noble descent. She has fallen in love with Gatsby. Long-distance love led her to marry Tom, who was a wealthy man. Nevertheless, she falls in love again to Gatsby. Lastly, Tom is a novel antagonist who played the role of an arrogant, cruel, and Daisy's husband. He becomes enraged at the possibility that Daisy is having an affair with Gatsby. He was also in an affair with Myrtle Wilson, who was George Wilson's wife. He has accused Gatsby of killing Myrtle.
Our narrator, Nick Carraway, moves to the East Coast to work as a bond trader in Manhattan. He rents a small house in West Egg, a navy-rich town in Long Island. In East Egg, the next town over where old money people live. Nick reconnects with his cousin Daisy Buchanan, her husband Tom, and meets their friend Jordan Baker. Nick meets his next-door neighbor, J. Gatsby, a very rich man who lives in a giant mansion and throws wildly extravagant parties every weekend, and who is the mysterious person no one knows much about. Nick arranges for Daisy to come over to his house so that Gatsby can accidentally drop by. Daisy and Gatsby start having an affair. Daisy behind the wheel. When they drive by the Wilson gas station, Myrtle runs out to the car because she thinks it's Tom driving by. Daisy hits and kills her, driving off without stopping. Nick, Jordan, and Tom investigate the accident. Tom tells George Wilson that the car that struck Myrtle belongs to Gatsby, and George decides that Gatsby must also be Myrtle's lover. That night, Gatsby decides to take the blame for the accident. He is still waiting for Daisy to change her mind and come back to him, but she and Tom skip town the next day. Nick breaks up with Jordan because she is completely unconcerned about Myrtle's death. The next day, George Wilson shoots and kills Gatsby and then himself. The police leave the Buchanans and Myrtle's affair out of the report on the murder-suicide. Nick tries to find people to come to Gatsby's funeral, but everyone who pretended to be Gatsby's friend and came to his parties now refuses to come. Even Gatsby's partner, Wolfshim, doesn't want to go to the funeral. Wolfshim explains that he first gave Gatsby a job after WWI and that they have been partners in many illegal activities together.
From our reading, we have learned that money can buy love. In this novel, Gatsby attempts hard to allure Daisy with his lavish party and home, but ultimately he fails. This is because her husband, Tom, informed Daisy of the truth that Gatsby made his fortune illegally. We also learned that we can't trust people easily because everyone will change. In this novel, Daisy has won Gatsby's heart for so long, but in the end, Daisy has left Gatsby in the dust despite Gatsby's effort to find her and protect her. From our reading, we also learned that manners are more important than wealth. In this novel, every character pursuit of wealth and their neglect of moral ethic and education ultimately result in their ruination. The last moral value that we learn in this novel is to be careful who you choose as friend. Gatsby has no real friends or people who care about him. This can be seen when no one Gatsby party attendants show up to his funeral, aside from Nick. That's all from me. Thank you.
We highly recommend you to read this novel because it is a classic American novel that have a historical snapshot in 19th century about what happened in America that time. We also recommend you to read this novel because it is a love fiction story. As you can see that this novel is a story about a love between a man and a woman in a depressed outlook in a thwarted love. Moreover, this novel have a unique and intriguing characters. We loved the character developments in this book, so we will rate this novel 5 stars out of 5 and you must read this novel. That's all from our group. I hope you enjoy watching our video. Thank you for watching.